known by its map designation as Area 51.
We're now learning Area 51,
known as Area 51.
Thank you for
Near
clearing
Area
that up.
51.
Thank you.
Known as Area 51.
Because Area 51 is very important.
They called him Jimmy, and everybody wanted to be his friend.
What's good? What's good? Welcome here at 51 here boxing. Here with your host Jimmy. What's good? And for those who are not part of Golden Era, join our community, become part of this great community of people who like actual boxing. And we have programs in Spanish. I do programs in Spanish and English. We got programs exclusively in Spanish, and you can also visit our webpage goldeneraboxing.com, where you're going to learn a lot of what's going on in the boxing scene right now. So give us that like and subscribe if you like the channel. All right, so a few people were telling me that Brian Custard had an interview with Jermell Charlo, and in this interview he said a lot of different things, right? Things that actually I was happy to hear, and things that made me question on other things as well. So one of the things that I was happy to hear in this interview was that he is giving Fundora an opportunity to be his mandatory. So the question was asked, would you fight Fundora? And he said, yes, Fundora is my mandatory. So that's very good news, because I believe Jermell Charlo should be considered or ranked at least between second, third, and number one when it comes down to the pound for pound list. I still see Usyk being the pound for pound king so far. Depending on what happens with Tyson Fury, that will make it undisputed in 2 championships, and undisputed means everything Golden Era. But I mean, if Jermell Charlo was to fight or beat Tim Tszyu and then go after Sebastian Fundora, and he beats those 2 fighters, he has a really, really, really good record. And even though he's been only undisputed in one champion in one division, that's a solid record in one division. 154 is really, really competitive, and I think you could make the case that he could be placed number 2 or number 3rd, depending on what Terence Crawford does. Now, if Terence Crawford fights Errol Spence, then and that fight happens, and Terence Crawford beats the shit out of Errol Spence and becomes undisputed, then it's going to be between Usyk and Terence Crawford. But Jermell Charlo, to me, is a real pit bull. The dude fights everybody. He's not like his brother. His brother doesn't fight anyone. Like, he's just basically waiting for a paycheck. That's what it is. It's like handouts. But Jermell is putting the work, and I can definitely appreciate that from a boxing standpoint, because that's what boxing needs. Boxing needs people who are willing to take the challenges. So much credit to Jermell. But another topic that he brought up was the possibility, and this is a question that was asked, so let me go ahead and play it real quick, and we go from there.
Ray Hall asks, will you fight Errol if the money is right? And how do you guys keep it as business and go back to being friends afterwards?
Hey, I'll fight. Yeah, of course. If the money right, we'll get in there and get it on. You know what I'm saying? But that's never been brought to me. It's not under my. It's not something that I would deny. Yeah. I know Errol said the same exact thing. Yeah. So, hey, who knows? And later on in the future in life or whatever, we can get in it and do what we do. Right now, we stablemates, we brothers. We ain't doing all that.
Ray Hall.
Now, to be honest, I think that from his perspective, I can understand why he's a little bit hesitant to make that move. But at the end of the day, if Errol Spence is going up to fight Keith Thurman in 154, which is already a ridiculous fight because Keith Thurman's been out of service since the Pacquiao fight. And I'm sorry, but that fight with Mario Barrios was coming up in weight, so you can't really say too much about that fight. But if Errol Spence fights at 154 and he beats Keith Thurman, they're probably going to rank him as a mandatory against Jermell Charlo. And this is where it's going to get interesting, because if Errol wants to move up one division, because in my opinion, in 147, he is avoiding a fight with Terence Crawford. He's making it so difficult for Terence Crawford to make this fight that it's just ridiculous. I mean, all the conditions, preconditions, and he can't even. I mean, there's no guarantee in the when it comes down to the bag, but there's no transparency in what's going to be spent or not. I mean, there's a lot of things that just don't make sense. But if he moves to 154, he's going to have to be a mandatory if he beats Keith Thurman against Jermell Charlo, and he's going to have to do it. He's going to have to do it. So, in my opinion, in the end of the day, like, if he's decided to do that move, he's going to have to fight Jermell. And do I believe he's going to fight Jermell Charlo? No, I don't believe he's going to fight Jermell Charlo. I don't believe he's going to fight Jermell Charlo, in my opinion. And it's not necessarily because they're friends, but because I think he knows that if he fights Jermell Charlo, he'll probably lose. And this is one of the problems that I have with boxers like Errol Spence, who, when they see an opponent who is more aggressive than them and somebody who can beat them, they kind of pull back from the fight. So I don't believe that this fight will ever happen. I think Jermell knows that probably this fight will never happen. And Errol Spence brought up the fight because some fan brought up the fight with a possibility of fighting Jermell. And of course, he's going to have to say yes. But it's just, I don't see this happening. I just don't. I don't see it happening. So I think it's kind of a waste of time for people to start talking about Jermell Charlo and Errol Spence. I know it's trending in some places, but I don't think this fight will ever happen. If Errol Spence is not going to fight Terence Crawford, that's going to look bad. So it's almost ridiculous. And there's less money. I hate to say this, but a lot of us know Terence Crawford, but some people know Jermell Charlo because 154 was not the division of Floyd Mayweather Jr., right? And unfortunately, there hasn't been like a fighter that's really brought up a name for themselves in that division, except for Canelo Alvarez when he was there. But he was a goose. The dude was moving up in different weight classes, never wanted to become undisputed. But Jermell Charlo did something that Canelo never achieved, and that's undisputed in 154. And I'm sure he would try in 160. But if Errol Spence can't make a fight and a deal with Terence Crawford with 65-35%. He's not gonna make a fight with this guy. And I believe if he fought Jermell Charlo will beat the shit out of him anyway. So I do not want to see. I don't want people to mention this fight because it's not gonna happen, man. you guys believe too much in these fighters, and they can't even do their obligations in their divisions they're in. Now I believe Jermell Charlo, he would do it, but I don't believe Errol Spence would. So anyway, that's my opinion on the matter. Give us a like here, subscribe to Golden Era Boxing, and for more information, visit goldeneraboxing.com. Check in the next one. Peace out, and deuces cruces, like we say in New Mexico. Peace out.